All right, we are live.
All right, thanks, Patrick. Am I coming through all right?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, we'll call this meeting to order. We'll show that we've got all the counselors except for Counselor Schulte and Counselor Moody. We have a number of visitors as well on the call, and their names will come up when they are on the agenda. But the typical complement of city staff is also present on the call. So with that said, we will go to the open forum. Does anyone have anything for the open forum that was sent in to be included?
I have a note from Mary. Mary, do you want to just fill us in on that?
I did email for both, thank you, Patrick, for both the Planning Commission and the City Council, the background of the work that we did on the purpose statement. I don't have it in front of me. I don't know if you want to read it, Patrick, for the record. Can you do that?
Yeah, just a moment.
Okay.
I've got to find it here. Okay. The Grand Marais City Council recently requested that the EDA board provide input on updating the purpose statement for the business developments area, Cedar Grove Business Park. This was discussed at the October 13th, 2020 EDA board meeting. Each member shared their thoughts on the purpose and the vision for Cedar Grove Business Park. EDA board member comments were shared with Mike Roth in a meeting where the two of us collaborated on drafting the amended language for the purpose statement. Subsequently, the EDA board members reviewed the amended language for the purpose statement as written in Ordinance number 2020-4, which is on your meeting agenda. The EDA board approves this amended language and recommends that it should be adopted. Please let me know if you have any questions or if we can be of assistance in any way.
All right, thank you for reading that.
I've got something, Jay, too.
I'm sure that will. Okay, great. Go ahead.
From Kathy Quinn. During the public forum portion of the August 26th City Council meeting, Go Dog North Shore presented a proposal to relocate the existing dog park in Grand Marais to the city-owned property identified for such purposes in the 2018 Sawtooth Bluff Master Plan. The council has yet to have any official discussion or take any action regarding the proposal, despite subsequent requests to do so. The current dog park is a multi-use space that is shared with horse users and is unlikely to be open to dogs indefinitely. Interim use of the current dog park is contingent upon Go Dog North Shore securing a space to develop a new park. Go Dog North Shore is once again requesting the Grand Marais City Council add this topic to tonight or a future agenda for official discussion. Go Dog North Shore is specifically seeking a commitment from the City Council to develop a new park either in the Sawtooth Bluff area or elsewhere in the city so that we can commence fundraising efforts and ensure that there is off-leash access for dog owners in the future. As stated in our August proposal, we are seeking land to develop a new park, not taxpayers' dollars. We thank you for your time and consideration and welcome any feedback or questions that you may have.
Okay, thanks for reading that. Let's see. We should probably put that on a future agenda then. So let's make a note of that and make sure that shows up on one of these. Anything else for the open forum? Just jump in if you got anything. All right. Hearing nothing, then we'll close the open forum and we'll move on. Consent agenda has a typical 3 items on it. This meeting's agenda, the previous meeting minutes, and the payment of bills that have accrued from the past or since that past meeting. Unless somebody would like to pull an item for conversation, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I moved the consent agenda.
All right, there is a motion. Is there a second?
Yes, yes, I will.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I could do it too, but I appreciate that you did that, Kelly. All right. So then, any comment on the consent agenda? Hearing none, bring it to a vote. I guess we'll start with you, Tim. What's your vote?
Aye.
And Kelly, your vote?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. So the consent agenda passes. Moving right along to the next item on the agenda. I'm doing this on my phone, so I have to kind of bounce between screens. It's just a little bit more onerous than doing it on my computer. So the Planning Commission update. So we got 3 items on the Planning Commission update. I'm assuming that we will be able to discuss 2 of them to resolution, and then one of them, since we only have three counselors present, I think it's probably a good idea to pass that on until we have more counselors present. But the Planning Commission met just this afternoon. So Tim, you want to give us an update on what happened with these resolutions and ordinances? And if it's all right with the council, I think that what we should do is we should take that last one, Ordinance 2020-02, the residential zoning modifications. I think we should just bump that to the next meeting when we have all the counselors present, because we did all the work in workshop over the past couple of weeks, and to discuss that and to have motions made without the full council present doesn't seem to be appropriate to me. So first of all, let's start with thoughts on that, and then if not, we can move on with your updates there, Tim.
Yeah, Jay, I would agree with you on, that third item to hold off on taking any actions. I mean, I do think should be a full council present when we make those decisions. We've gone through the ordinance, and I would say in detail to understand what's being proposed. And I think it's time now for the council to sit down and really come up with a solid decision. And, I mean, I was ready to make a couple motions, but I think I'll hold off on doing that until we have a full complement of councilors to discuss any motions.
Kelly, what's your feeling on that?
I was having trouble with hearing, and I just lost everybody's picture except for Tim's on the computer screen.
Kelly, I'd suggest maybe rejoining the meeting, hang up and rejoin if it's still like that.
Okay.
Because I can see everyone. I don't know if anyone
No,
else is.
they're starting to one by one. You're coming back. There it goes. Don't know. Sorry. I guess I'm fine with postponing it. I think it should be all 5 of us having a discussion. I wish we'd have known a little bit ahead of time. There's people that are obviously here for that discussion, so they probably could have been forewarned. Whether we chose a different night, maybe things came up today at the end of the day, I don't know. But heads up on that would be good if we could, for the people that are here to participate, and we're not going to do that. So I'm fine with delaying it for a couple more weeks.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just kind of go with what we've got. 2 of the items I think we definitely can discuss. So on that level, maybe we just jump into that. So Tim, you want to go with the Conlan variance and what the conversation was on that? We'll start with that one.
Yeah, okay. The Conlan variance, the property is on the corner of First Avenue West and 5th Street, right across from school, right across from Bethlehem Lutheran Church. They have their home there. They run a daycare out of that house. They are asking for a variance to put a roof over their deck that would be in line with the home, which is 8 feet from the property line. And the Planning Commission, did discuss this, felt that really there was no obstruction created by the addition of the roof, and wouldn't be obstructing any views. There's already a fence right up to the sidewalk, the fence on the side property line. The Planning Commission felt this was an appropriate use of the property and recommends approval of the variance request. I think, Mike, you had said that there were a couple of neighbors that had made comments. We didn't see any of that information, but favorable comments, or at least not negative with regard to the request.
Yeah, that's right. I think the Conlans must have gone around and talked to their neighbors, which is always a good practice when you're making one of these applications. And two of them did call in to the office just to let us know that they were okay with the request.
All right, Kelly, do you got any questions about this? I mean, this is really an interesting, round robin conversation with just the three of us in here. But I mean, I guess maybe we could just call for a vote too. But do you have any thoughts on this, Kelly?
I don't. Maria had actually reached out to me a couple weeks ago because I know that they have grant monies. This is all more revolving around the daycare, and they have things that they needed to move forward, and asked me a few questions, and I referred her to Mike and to Tim both, because they have more experience in it. So I don't have any issues with it.
All right.
I
Well
would
then.
motion. Oops, sorry, Jay. I'll make a motion that we adopt. I will make a motion that we would adopt. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me. Gotta look.
It's 2020-10.
2020. Yep, I will motion for that.
Okay, we have a motion. I'll also go ahead and second that because I feel like I should do something. And then any further discussion on this? Hearing none, we'll go to the vote. Tim, your vote.
Aye.
Kelly, your vote.
Aye.
And I am an aye as well, so the variance is approved. And then we'll move on to the next one. So the next one is the BDA purpose statement revision. Is that right? Yep, purpose statement revision. So I believe that we have Mary here, and I don't know who wants to speak to that necessarily, but the information on the revision was sent out in an email to the council, and had time to revise it or had time to review it. So go ahead. Any further explanation that's necessary?
Yeah, I'll just fill you in on the Planning Commission's conversation about it. They just had questions as to kind of why this was happening. And basically went back to the council's conversation about this and our interest in our change to the ordinance to allow services, but recognizing that the purpose statement really didn't address the issue of services very well, and the council directing the EDA to come back or to revise that purpose statement to reflect the current use and anticipated use of the business park rather than the historical purpose statement that had been created maybe some 20 years ago. And the Planning Commission approved this unanimously too.
And the public comment that was read basically states that the EDA is in favor of these changes. So all of those entities are on board. One question that I do have is there was some conversation about having the purpose statement line up with some of the other some of the other ordinance requirements and things like that for the BDA. Does this reconcile those problems, or is that something that we need to take on in a different conversation?
I don't know, Jay, are you referring to some of the conversation we had about residential uses in the business park? I'm not quite sure what you're asking, but
Well, I think it had to do
I don't
with the use of services were only allowed along the Gunflint corridor, but now this statement says that they're going to be allowed throughout the business park. And is there not a another revision that would have to be done that would allow for services to be written into the bylaws of or the covenants of the business development park, so that it's clearer that services are allowed throughout the business development park? Or did I understand that wrong?
Well, Jay, I don't think that this ordinance and the covenants that the EDA controls have to agree. The disagreement that we brought up originally was the fact that things the EDA wanted to do and that their covenants allowed were not allowed by our ordinance. That's the situation that we've rectified now by allowing services, and then this change really doesn't further address that. I think that's dealt with. If the EDA's covenants are more restrictive than our ordinance, that's not a conflict that we need to resolve. So right now the EDA can go back and decide if they want to allow those types of uses, service, retail, those sorts of things in different spots, or they want to continue to just do it along the Gunflint. I wouldn't say that that's in conflict with this purpose statement or with what the ordinance allows right now.
Understood. That's a good explanation. Appreciate that. I understand that now. Okay. Any other questions or any other comments or thoughts on the revision to the purpose statement for the BDA?
Just a note, we didn't get more public comments, but we did get 2 property owners inquiring about what was going on in response to our notice, and we sent them the ordinance, and then we didn't hear from them after that.
Kelly?
I'm just wondering, when the purpose statement there talks about a variety of businesses in it, I'm wondering if we just remove variety. I don't see the point in having that there. If you remove variety of and just leave it as of businesses, you know, that we're not specifying either way. I didn't see the point of having the words variety there, but that's me.
Is there a legal purpose for having that word in there, Mike, and or anybody else who's on the call that may have an answer for that?
When you say legal purpose, I don't think I would characterize it that way. You're trying to be as clear as possible with your meaning, and if you think the word variety is more clear, you can leave it in, and if you think it's less clear, you can take it out, and that's entirely up to your discretion.
do you have any thoughts on taking that?
I guess I don't feel real strongly either way, other than I think it is maybe just a little more, like, more inclusive to keep that language to, but I won't fall on my sword for it, no.
Mary, if I recall, I think it's probably in there because we were trying to echo some of the comments of your board members in their initial discussion about it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, though. Like you said, though, I'm not sure it's important enough to what they were trying to have in there that it needs to stay.
Yeah, several of the board members used words like multiple use. So just making it more clear. I think in the context of the original language that was all about industrial and warehouse, and, you know, just to really differentiate this new language from the old language. But, you know, 10 years from now, the people sitting in this meeting aren't going to remember what the old language was. So it's fine. I'm fine either way.
And the reason I think that it can be removed is because, you know, we're kind of doing this backwards, but we're coming with the purpose statement now, but then when we listed the uses that could be in there, that shows the variety. It's not that we're trying to get a variety where if we already have a hair salon, we're not going to allow another one. It has to be something else. That's why I think that word could come out. It's because you're trying to encourage businesses. Sometimes I feel like variety means, well, you want to have different things, nothing can be the same, or so by the definitions of what we're allowing in there, what would be good fits, I think that already happens, and the word variety can come out of the sentence if people are following what I'm saying.
I think I understand what you're saying. And I would be fine removing the word variety from that. I don't think that it's 100% necessary. Understanding that this is a first reading of an ordinance change, so if we make a motion to accept the first reading as amended with the removal of that word, then our second reading will have to be the same. So that's I'm bringing that up because if we're ready for a motion on this, then we can go ahead and do that. Tim, if you want to weigh in on that, I guess you can. Otherwise, I would entertain a motion for the approval or the first reading of this.
I don't really have any strong feeling. I mean, I think it's one of those kind of words that, maybe flowers the language up, but I don't think it changes the intent of what they're trying to accomplish there. So I don't have any problem of removing the language. Yeah, fine.
Okay. All right. Does anybody feel strongly about that? Or should I kick this one off? Well, I'll make a motion to accept the first reading of this. So there's a motion. Is there a second?
Is that motion with the removal of that language?
Yes, with the removal of the word variety. Yep. So as amended.
I will second it.
Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I just want to read through the first sentence quick to make sure that everybody's agreeing on what it is that you're reading here. So I think that's the first sentence, Kelly, where the word variety came up that you were talking about. And I actually think we have to remove a variety of. So it would read, the purpose of the BDA is to enable the creation or expansion of businesses that enhance the community. So there's three words being removed. I'm seeing head nodding. Okay, everybody's in agreement on that. Terrific.
Yep, that was the gist of it. So thanks for that clarification. Okay, so there's a motion, there's a second, and that was discussion. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Tim, your vote?
Aye.
Kelly, your vote?
Aye.
I am an aye as well. The ordinance first reading is approved. So then we're going to go back. Let me go back to the agenda here. So ordinance 2020-02, we're going to table that for lack of counselors, which then moves us down to the 2020 audit proposal. So the 2020 audit proposal came from our traditional provider of our audits, Walker Drew and Hani LLC, and my reading of their letter is that not much is going to change. I don't know if Kim wants to say more about that, or if Mike, you want to say anything more about that. Looks like their audit procedures are pretty much the same as they have been. The only thing that we could discuss on this is whether or not we want to entertain pursuing a new auditor, but these guys have been really good and they've been finding stuff every year. Both their familiarity with the organization is both a pro and a con. But that's, they're ready to do it for for the next for the next audit season for the next year. So does anybody have any thoughts on that? Or, all we're looking for is a motion to approve this audit proposal, or we can have a discussion about other actions. At this point in the year, I think that it probably would not behoove us to be seeking RFPs for a new auditor, but that's that's totally up to the council. So, thoughts?
Yeah, I would say too that I think it's probably not the time to go out and try to solicit RFPs for doing the audit. With the issue of COVID still hanging over us, trying to find somebody new to come in could really be complicated. And I just think that we need to be careful and cautious. And I've been satisfied with the work that has been done on our audits. I think they've been good. We've used those to make some constructive changes. So I would kind of continue. I would like to continue our relationship at this time.
Okay. Anybody else? Is there a motion? Any motions or any further discussion on this?
Yeah, I would make a motion that we accept the proposal from Walker Giroux to do our audit.
Okay. There's a motion. Is there a second? I mean, I can do it too, but what do you think, Kelly? You want me to do it, or you want to do it?
I've got discussion piece, so go ahead, Jay.
Okay, I'll second it then. So motion and a second, discussion. Go ahead.
I'm of the thought process that going for this year now, moving forward, it's too late to try to switch things up because it becomes overly cumbersome on a staff at this point in time if you try to go out and do bids for it. But I am very interested in doing that next year. We haven't done that for a very long time, and it's not because I don't think that they do a good job. I think it's proper protocol, and we could decide how many years we want to look at doing things for. But it can be good sometimes to change things up. It can be good to have others see your books. It can be very helpful to have someone else work with you and offer up their suggestions versus the company that continues to do it every year. Sometimes it can be good to change it up. Sometimes it's not so good. But I think that in a business where we're trying to be fiscally responsible, it would be good to put it out for bids moving forward to see what other competitors would do for us. And again, that's something that we would probably want to look at starting the process at the end of maybe next summer. But I would be very interested in doing that. I think I suggested it last year, and it didn't happen this year with COVID. I will be honest, it didn't cross my mind either. But I think it's something that we should do in the future, and I think that would be a responsible thing to do.
All right, note taken on that. I agree with that. I think that it's always a good idea to mix things up a little bit. So that's your discussion point. We have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, then Tim, your vote.
Aye.
Kelly, your vote.
Aye.
I am an aye as well, so that motion carries. We will move right along then on the agenda. On the agenda, we have the last thing is an application for the park board. We had Jennifer Stoltz, who relocated outside of city limits, so we have an open spot. We have an applicant in Bob Nessheim, who ironically moved into the Stoltz's house. So So he is seeking a position on the park board. Does anybody have any discussion for this or a motion for the approval, or what are you thinking here?
I would make a motion for Bob's approval. I mean, Bob has a lot of background in working with parks and trails, state level. His experience owning the bed and breakfast up at Pincushion. He sees a lot of people that are coming here for recreation purposes. So I think he's got a good handle on some of the needs in the community. I think he'd be a good addition to the park board.
Okay. Anybody else? Seeing none, then I'll make a motion for the approval of Bob Nessheim to the park board. Is there a second for that motion?
Jay, I think you were the second. Tim,
I already made the
Oh, you
motion.
already made it. Sorry, my brain's getting turned around on all this stuff. We're already discussing it. Blah. All right, so then we're just going straight to the vote. So Tim, your vote. Oh, I think you're muted, Tim.
No.
Oh, you're still muted.
Can't hear him.
Yeah, I know. There you
That's what you're asking for.
go. Yeah. Kelly, your vote?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. So that position has been approved. We're still looking for more applicants. So for anybody who's interested, check the city website for the openings on different boards and commissions. So
Jay, is that for next year, 2021, or are we short right now?
we're short right now for the library board, but there will be some opening up for next year as well, from my understanding.
Okay.
All right, so council and staff reports. Why don't we just start with Tim? Do you have any council staff reports?
No, we dealt with the planning commission, so nothing else.
All right, Kelly, yours?
Nothing here.
All right, I have nothing as well. Mike, Kim, Patrick, anyone have anything?
it's Happy Veterans Day tomorrow, everybody. Take a moment to think about what it's for, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Wait, I have something.
Oh, Kim's got something.
I emailed out the CRF reports to you this afternoon for October and November, and we will be sending back to the county $23,544.88. And I need approval for both those reports.
Aha.
I would make that motion to approve those COVID reports.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
I haven't viewed it, guys, and I don't want to say okay to anything I haven't looked at. I'm sorry.
What's the
have-
timing on this, Kim?
The October report was due today, which I did send out. The November report, I believe, is due by the 24th. But if we're going to send the money to the county and keep the time frame good for the county, it would be good to approve it today. But I can let him know how much is coming and let him deal with it that way.
Hang on a second. I see it. See, when it's new from City Hall, for some reason, I don't know why, it goes to my junk mail. And granted, I didn't get to see anything to this afternoon, but $2 for masks.
Yeah, so my understanding was that was all just money that the leftover money was the stuff that we did not allocate for COVID response expenses.
Right.
Right.
From the money that was allocated from the state. So, and we feel like we've pretty much modified what we need to modify on the city level so that we are able to provide the best level of service we can, utilize as much of that money as we can.
So we did buy in November some laptops and scanners and things like that to help our remote meeting process. Maybe Patrick can speak more to those purchases. The rest was like more hand sanitizer and the last bill for all those extra porta potties we had around town.
I'll second Tim's motion.
Okay, thanks for taking the time to look at that though, Kelly. All right, motion and a second. Any further discussion? Kim, just a question about this. This is the last one that you're going to have to give, right, for the CARES money because we're refunding the rest of it?
Correct.
Okay, good to know. Any other discussion? Tim, your vote?
Aye. Aye.
Kelly, your vote?
Aye.
I am an aye as well. Motion carries. Thanks for getting that in, Kim. I know sometimes our meeting schedule doesn't really jive with the schedule that everybody else needs to have for these things, but I appreciate you getting that together. Any final issues for the meeting? Hearing none, I thank you for your time. Happy Veterans Day for tomorrow, and we are adjourned.
Bye.
Good
all.
night.
Good night.